Okay, so we're going to go through number 11. ABC Organic Company needs a simple program that their call center will use to enter survey data for the new coffee variety. The program must accept input and return the average rating based on a 5-star scale. The output must be rounded to 2 decimal places. You need to complete the code to meet the requirements. So here we have the code, and it says declaring a variable of sum equals count equals done equals 0. So we have 3 variables declared at once: sum, count, and done, and they're all initialized to 0. So average also initialized to memory allocation, average to 0, while done is not equal to -1. Rating something, if rating equals to -1, we break out of the program. Then if rating is not equal to -1, we continue and store something here to rating. You go rating, rating we add to sum and store it into sum, count +1, and store it back into count. Then we convert sum divided by count into float and store it into average. And they ask what should we insert instead of XXX, triple Y, and triple Z. Honestly, this thing is pretty tricky. So let's think about it. They said, okay, so this one, I thought that this one will format Z to average float with 2 decimal points. And take off your shoes. So let's go through the answer. We have 2 candidates for the answer. I don't see the difference between these 2. Print, input, enter next rating 1 to 5, -1 for done. 1 to 5, -1 for done. Print the average star coffee is. Z, triple Z, format, average, space, comma, space, single quote, dot, 2F. Why this one is correct and this one is not correct? They are identical. What is the difference between these 2? Wow. I don't see the input function always returns a string. So there's got to be something This one beats me. I don't know the answer to this one. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 12 I also answered incorrectly. So, what is default value, return value for the function that does not explicitly return any value? Okay, so what is the default return value for a function that does not explicitly return any value? So that should have been obvious, but I thought it would be void. But they lost me here in the default value of function that does not explicitly return any value, which technically would be void if they didn't say the value, but they did, so it's none. Okay, this one is done. What will be the output of the following code? Print 3 divided by 5. And the answer should be simple. 3 divided by 5 equals, in standard forms, 3 divided by 5 equals 0.6, and surely enough it's 0.6. I don't know why they go from such extreme questions to such silly questions. Go ask them. What is the expected output for the following code? So here we have x equals to 1 and y equals to 2. We have x, y, and z, 3 variables declared, equals to x, x, y. X, x, y, 1, 1, 2. Then we convert z, y, and x, z, y, and z, which is z, y, and z. Which z becomes 2. So we have x equals 1, z equals 1, y equals 2, and z equals 2 because z becomes 2 right here. So 1, 1, 2. And then when we print x, y, and z, x is 1, y is, here y changes to x, which is 1, y, x, one, 1, z, here z becomes 2. Z becomes 2, it never changes after that, so 1, 1, 2. It's a complicated problem, but it's solvable. Much easier to just punch it into the compiler and just get the control flow. For I in range 1 to 6, which is 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 to 6, not including 6, print string I times 5. Well, so yeah, I made a mistake here. I did this one because it puts out 5 lines of code, and I put 5 lines of code right here. The range would be 0 to 5, but instead it should have been 1 to 6. Let's see why. The result is clear, but let's see why. You need to range 1 to 6 because start value 1 is inclusive and end value 6 is exclusive. To get the same number next to each other without a space between them, you need to make a string and then use the multiply operator string concatenation. The standard separator of the print function is one space. Print I gives you one space between each number. It will work with print separator space. That answers is not offered here. There's similar questions 218 and Q65. Wonderful. So let's understand this. So we have an I, range 1 to 6. String, convert string times 5. So 1 to 6. 1 is inclusive, 6 is exclusive, times 5, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's kind of confusing, but I think I can understand this. And let's see what the next question is. That's it.